my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. It is a True Grit review special episode. Last Saturday it was Mayhem, so we thought, myself, Dan, Paul, we would sit down and have a good old chit chat about what happened, what we enjoyed, what we didn't like. Spoiler, there was nothing that we didn't like, personally speaking, so it's all good stuff. Gentlemen, how are we?
Paul guess first. This is my second one, so you can have the floor.
I'm all good here as well. Enjoyed Saturday night, so good to see what's coming up as well.
Yeah, always. So,
Gonna have a chat about that.
yes, we will.
Yeah, all good this end as well. Slightly sore. The crowd at Mayhem drank a good amount of beer. Pretty much sold out of Red Stripe and Co's and all that, so I've been feeling it.
I got one special just for this episode as well. So I thought, you know what, I'd have a can while we talk about the show as well. So
if I wasn't working early.
But yeah,
Swig a beer for the working man.
obviously, as we sort of said, personally speaking, there was nothing that I didn't enjoy in this show. I think every match, obviously we'll go into more detail, but I think every match offered something. Every match was enjoyable. Everybody turned up, and everybody, you know, busted their asses to put on an awesome match kind of thing. So how did the show start? I'm trying to rack my music. Riley, that's how it started.
Yeah, well, I just want to say quickly before that, anybody who'd followed the social media, and as we mentioned on the preview show, a lot of things went wrong in the build-up to this show. Jay and Bex joined me behind the merch desk, and I was doing the bar. Drafted in last minute, really grateful to them. So thanks very much. But last minute commentators, runners, everything. It all came together right at the last minute, and then the problems with Triller as they put out on the socials. So it's just a real testament to the crew and I know in storyline we don't like him, but to JC for getting everything on, and ultimately on the night everything running relatively smoothly. When the curtain did come up, so. Credit to him first of all. Just wanted to say that.
No, definitely, that's huge. That's a huge shout out. Obviously, yeah, our other halves, myself and Paul, our better halves were working behind the merch table, helping out. We had Sam Bailey on commentary, which is always amazing. It's another reason I need to get it on Triller. I need to watch it just because to hear Sam Bailey on commentary, I think it's going to be top notch. And yeah, as you sort of said, the runners, people like that. But it goes to show how good the True Grit fan base is, or the community, whatever wording you want to say, is no matter what was posted, no matter what was asked, I think within the space of like 2 hours, every time something had been sorted.
Yeah. It was really good, really great to see, and just the show goes on. And it's like you said, it started with Riley versus Vusic, a match that we are that we all had high hopes for, I think, and they did not disappoint.
Absolutely. Thing is with Riley and Boots, you could watch them do any sort of match as well. If you wanted 2 out of 3 falls, if it was a submission match, if it was an Iron Man match, you could watch them to go at it like every month for the rest of the year, and you still wouldn't get fed up of it.
You wouldn't get the same match twice either.
No, you wouldn't. No, exactly.
So there's 2 matches where I'm going to sort of request or put it into the universe where we want a best of 7. I'm doubling my odds. If we can get it on one of them, amazing. But these 2 guys are 2 people that I would love to sort of see. You mentioned it before, Dan. It's not True Grit style to repeat matches or go back to matches very often. But if we can get Vusic versus Riley, a few more times, I would have 0 issue with that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Vusic's intensity, because I've watched the first half of the show back on Triller since it dropped. Go check it out, everybody listening at home. Vusic's intensity is just on another level, and it really comes through the screen. Obviously, it's incredible when you're there, but like I said, I was restocking for a lot of it because people drank a lot of beer. But Riley, every time I see him, just keeps getting better and better. It really does. He's so arrogant in everything he does, and when you watch it back with the commentary, with Brady joining Sam Bailey, and I'll be honest, I didn't catch the other commentators' names, so that's my bad. Yeah, just absolute star, and we've compared him in the past to being sort of True Grit's Randy Orton as in Evolution.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's that good.
You could see that being a main event, maybe within the next year for the True Grit Championship, the heavyweight championship. I could see that being main event.
Yeah, easily. Well, I wanted to ask Paul, because you both were sat in the stands. It looked really good from my little spot behind the bar there. Vusic's finisher, reality check.
Yeah.
Just how brutal it looks great on camera, and I saw it from the back angle where it looked like he damn near took Riley's head off. How did that look to you guys?
Absolutely. I think because Nick was sat right behind me and we both just, ooh, it was quite loud. A lot of people as well. There was a group of lads at the back. Fantastic crowd really behind Vusic, and there was a reaction from them as well. But the big shout out to them lads at the back. They're always vocal, always getting into it and helping keep the crowd going. They are a good crowd. It'd be nice to see them at Leeds as well.
I must confess, I think I think I've ID'd them at the last 2 York shows, and they're all about 24.
They're a great set though. I remember, I think it was at the Festive Forearms as well when I had my match, the first one with NRG, and they were really loud then as well. It was really good to have that group of people in there, just keep the noise levels up there.
Yeah, you got to keep the energy, and it was a good crowd. It was a good house. As always with the York, I'm sat there thinking, I just wish more people had seen it. Seen it live and seen it in house, because there were still a few empty seats up there. Obviously, they've got some cordoned off for production purposes. But yeah, this match, the problem I find is I get so into these matches, both watching it live and watching it back, I can then never remember specific bits, specific spots, or I struggle to because I'm just so invested. But Vusic with the belt that Brady tried to sneak in.
Yeah.
Were you begging him to use it?
No, it's like I say, it's that moment. It worked so well because obviously the promos leading into this. Riley sort of saying that Vusic's temper would be his undoing. He had a chance to use the belt to unleash the temper, but he controlled it. And it's just that narrative. It's just that. Dude, I loved it.
Yeah, Vusic siphoning his fury.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I love about Vusic as well, because he's not a man of many words. He doesn't need to speak, but the character that he portrays, whether it was with Sash, he got the reaction of a heel, and when he turned face with the uppercut that was heard around York, he doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't have to do anything, and sometimes that's hard. You can go out and do a cheap Mick Foley pop and get that cheap reaction. Vusic does it with no words. It's all action, and he's absolutely incredible. But then you have got Riley on the other hand, who I'd say is a complete package, which I was talking to Nick about at the actual event. And this is credit to a lot of people in the UK wrestling circuit. You'll have, they have to be a complete package. You'll have people in WWE, even, some of the top stars, and they may fall short in some area, whether it be promo skills, mic work, whatever, and they'll have somebody there to help them do that in the form of a manager. But somebody like Riley, for instance, like his promo was incredible. His ring work is incredible. The way he looks is incredible. You know, it's a complete package, and that's what we have in UK wrestling compared to elsewhere. They're absolutely phenomenal. Really, really top-notch talent we have, and we're lucky to have them at True Grit.
We are. Yeah, we really, really are. And Riley's very much living up to his sort of heir to the throne moniker. I really like that. It's one where I'm torn now. I want to see Kemper obliterate Brady in the cage match at the next show, which we'll get onto later. But I also kind of want Riley to get his Randy Orton moment, because there's a little bit on commentary when you watch it back. Brady says he's the heir to the throne and will take the throne when Brady decides. And he very pointedly says that. He's like, when I decide, when I call the shot. It's like, ooh, that won't last forever. But absolute banger of a match, as always, as you'd expect from these two. We don't do star ratings on this show, but if we did, it'd be like a 4-star, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All the stars.
It's a tough job to do as well. You know, like the curtain jerker, as they call it, in the first match on there, the crowd's warming up, and you know they were heavily invested into it straight from the off, and that's good. And it's also very, very hard to do to get the crowd straight into it, and you couldn't ask for a better match to open the show with.
No, you really couldn't. Smash mouth, loves glorious violence whenever Vucic steps into it. Sorry, Nick, I'm taking over a little bit here. I can't help it.
Oh,
it's your show, mate.
Yeah, anybody who knows me, I'm quite happy sitting here listening to other people talk about stuff, and I just enjoy it. So, but no.
I'll tell you what then, should we go from the sublime to the ridiculous? Nash boat. They are both. Come on, I've talked for long enough. You guys get into a bit of Nash boat. We'll have to. I've got to start you on the entrance.
Just the silliness of having the belts connected, obviously wrapped around them both. It's only those two guys I could get away with. The fact that I've never seen it before blows my mind, because it's just one of those things where you're like, it's such a simple idea. It's so funny. Visually, it just pops. And then, like, when they get on the turnbuckles and they're holding the belts out and it stretches across the ring, I was just like, that's amazing. But only those two guys could get away with it, I think.
Yeah.
But it was a year ago, wasn't it, Paul, that they had two random kids from the crowd coming out dressed as ducks in sailor outfits and flying outfits.
It was, yeah. I watched that. I think, it was the year to the date, actually. I think it popped up on my Facebook memories.
That's the only reason I know it, because you posted it.
That's right. Yeah, it's when I was having a quick 5-minute Skype at work. Just saw it and reposted it.
Sorry, boss, I'm just nipping to the toilet.
Yeah. One of them. Yeah.
But yeah, that entrance, I was in absolute stitches. Like... And watching it back, I couldn't see from where I was sat, but you guys will have seen it facing, front facing, when they were trying to get the belts to go between the ropes and get one on each turnbuckle, and Nash just had to sort of hang himself over the top rope.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. As you say, only them two could get away with it. There's got to be a lot more of that, isn't there? Hopefully, anyway, we'll see something different each time.
Yeah, well, we'll get into theories for the next show, but it is just so weird seeing NRG in their True Grit persona. Obviously, two dudes you know very well, Paul. Love to watch them wrestle. Love to cheer them everywhere apart from True Grit. But it makes for such a fun, interesting dynamic and allowing people to show off what they can do on both sides of the coin. Because it'd be very easy to have NRG come in, as they are everywhere else, but no, they flip it on its head. Same with Ace Matthews. Apart, like I said on the other show, apart from maybe Tidal, everywhere else thinks he's a cretin and don't like him. But he's loved in True Grit. Talking to people in the past, a lot of Wing Commander Nash's antics have polarised people. Personally, I love him. He never believes me when I tell him he's in like my top 3 wrestlers worldwide. But the bit that stuck out to me was when he tried to do the slingshot senton, and he got his legs caught up in the rope.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, Nash."
You don't know whether he's done that on purpose or whether it's a genuine mistake. That's how they get away with it. It was like a few times when is he meant to do that? Oh, so he'll always get away with it.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick, you're laughing away. It must have got you good.
I just, like you sort of said, I get. I mean, everybody's got an opinion on stuff. It can split people. But for me, Nash and Ace together, Nash Boat, I love it. Like I say, I've said numerous times, I love every aspect of wrestling. I love the pure stuff. I love the deathmatch stuff. I love the technical stuff. I love the spotty stuff. I love the silly stuff as well. I love the fun stuff. Give me that. And that's what Nash. There's no other team, or even to separate it, just like you said about Ring Commander Nash. There's nobody in this country as good as Nash at doing that. The dude,
he's the modern day Les Kelly.
He's a walking antidepressant, for God's sake.
Yeah, he really is. And they are together as well as a double act.
Yeah,
the fact
exactly.
the Markham and Wise of Yorkshire wrestling. But a little bit of silly goes a long way. I said this on social media earlier today, talking about the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. You need that bit of fun. You need that. Fair enough, people might want, and I've enjoyed like MMA style, shoot style, Japanese strong style. But you need a bit of silly.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on a family-friendly show.
Yeah.
That
remains one of my favourites. I know that Nash was in Ace's corner, but the family-friendly death match, that's probably one of my most favourite True Grit matches ever. With Rory Coyle. It must be amazing. If you know that you've got a match with Nashville or either Ace or Wing, you know that the planning is going to be absolutely incredible. I do not know where to get the ideas from. He has some genuine talent, isn't it? Just come up with something new every match. It's always something different, but it's always comedy. When do you run out of ideas?
And let's not forget that Mo is in fact a teapot.
Yes.
Great line on commentary as well. I think Nash grabs a headlock shortly after that, and he. I think it's Sam Bailey on commentary says, "Oh, look, a wrestling move's broken out."
You can imagine Sam Bailey though, just be like, "Oh gosh," obviously Sam Bailey is like, not to undersell it, is one of the best wrestlers in this country, kind of thing. So obviously, Future Shock shows his abilities, kind of thing. But mate, I'm gonna have to watch it again just for commentary, just to get to see his reaction, just Nash Boat's shenanigans, kind of thing, because he can just. I bet he'd be sat there absolutely wanting to howl, but having to stay very straight faced and be like, "Nope, yep. Oh look, wrestling." But on the inside, man, the guy's laughing his bollocks off.
Yeah, I think so. We're probably gonna have to start rattling through this because I know you wanted to keep it to about an hour as we normally do, and we've done 2 matches in 20 minutes.
I just want to shout out NRG as well. We have been big at Nash Boat. You mentioned earlier, obviously, about how great they are everywhere else, how great they are at working heel at True Grit. I will second that. I know Paul will third it. I know Paul's got a lot of love for Mo and Hamza through Pursuit and through the training days. Hopefully they just keep getting used as heel. It's always good to have a heel tag team, just ready to use whatever you need. And they're always going to put on a solid match as well. I'd love to see NRG versus Crash Boat at some point or something like that as well.
It's also going to be interesting to see what happens with these guys because we've yet to see them in the same building with Nathan, who sent them. For me and Wes, we've not seen them all together on the show yet. So, hopefully we'll get to see maybe them together. Maybe there'll be a change at some point as well. Will he remain heel forever? They're doing a great job, but it's going to be interesting to see when they're all in the same building at the same time. Nathan and his stooges.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah, because obviously that's the story.
That's the thing, Paul. You gave him a beating so bad he buggered off down to Norwich.
Into exile. as well in these
I'm not saying anymore. He'll come after me next. And I most definitely am not in fighting shape.
Yeah, he did a promo and said sent into exile, and on the exile it had the shirt that I was wearing. You know, there's a big rip down the back of it, but it was like I'd sent him into exile. It was more than the kids, to be honest. I weren't of any use. I think they were more than I was.
That's amazing. You know, again, it's just a continuity, though, and it's just keeping that stuff going, and it's always kind of on the back burner if needs be. But yeah, massive shout out to NRG. Love NRG. I think any show is better for having NRG on it. If you had NRG on your show and they're not on it, that's just craziness to me. So yeah, just everyone book NRG and thank me later.
Yeah, I think that's the point to move on to match 3.
Yep.
It was number 1 contender match for the True Grit Women's Championship. Melissa Fierce, who we've seen last few shows, against returning Alexis Falcon. Now, me and Nick were both super happy to see Alexis back. I don't know about you, Paul, I'm assuming so. Until about 35 seconds in, when she started gobbing off and we realised, oh, you're bloody annoying you are.
That's the thing. Like, I got the prediction wrong on this one because I've not seen Alexis Falcon in True Grit. So I weren't sure whether she was coming back for a show, you know, whether it was just a one-off appearance or whether it's going to be permanent. So I actually went with Melissa Fierce to take the win. But, you know, if like seeing Alexis win and the heel persona, which we said, I spoke to Nick about it needed to be that there's been a void for a while since Ivy retired to have that resident heel, you know, that is a threat to Rio. Like
we haven't seen enough of Lana either.
But it can't be Lana versus Rio every month. So I definitely welcome resident heel, you know, that is got to be a threat to Rio. I love Rio. Thomas loves Rio. But, you know, she needs a challenge.
Yeah, and Alexis is just so good. She was off for a long time with injury. You don't have to raise your hand, Nick. You can talk on if you want. It's your show.
She's up here, you know, as far as levels go, she is like up at the very top. You know, she is one of the best in Europe, in the world, you know, in the women's division kind of thing. So her versus Rio, definitely.
Yeah, well, pre-injury, Alexis has been everywhere, been working up to Rev Pro and doing all that. Rev Pro is obviously one of the higher end and indies in the UK who get all the, you know, the imports and whatnot and do all of that stuff. Pre-injury, I saw Alexis in Coventry, that one of the shows up there, the HMV Empire that Wrestle Carnival used to run. They'd had Yorkshire Tough on there as well. Misguided attempt from me to get a Yorkshire chant going. Alexis just looked at me like I'd come into her house on Christmas Day and pissed on the presents. And I was like, I'll shut up. But yeah, this match, I've actually got it on my phone as we're talking. Just it was that good, to be honest. There's not much you can say to it. Yeah, sorry, just the bit. I shouldn't watch something while I'm doing a podcast. But when Alexis was hitting the ropes and we thought, oh, big move coming, just stops, just slaps Melissa.
Yeah.
Bruise all around. Melissa gets one back. It just great back and forth. Classic stuff done just so well.
Yeah. It was a real strong match. I did enjoy it, as I thought that Melissa was gonna get the win. It's nice to see Melissa getting like the run as well, and seeing her often. I've seen her a couple of times at another show where I've been watching, like Wes, where me and the kids go around with Wes. But yeah, it's nice to see her be a resident at True Grit, and it's great to see Alexis. Like, I've not seen her in True Grit yet. I've seen her elsewhere, but you know, I'm looking forward to seeing the return. She don't look like she's missed a beat. She had a great match. It didn't look like she missed a minute.
Yeah, she did. Exactly right. And Melissa as well, just always full of fire, just consummate baby face. I feel like there's a lot more to come from Melissa. Like in terms of, picking up wins and becoming a bigger part of True Grit, she's got absolutely the tools to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, again, another quality match. Did exactly what you needed it to do. Set Falcon up to be a credible threat to Rio. First looked strong in defeat. She could challenge for the title at any point in the future and nobody would second guess it. If Falcon beats Rio, who's to say that Fierce won't get a title shot on the back of this match because it was it was a good match. I don't think the fans would object to seeing it again. So,
no. Sorry, I just saw Melissa Fierce do the 619 on the turnbuckle.
Oh,
it was the opposite turnbuckle to where I was stood on the bar, so I didn't actually see that in real time.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't it as you're going down the hall towards the toilets, but yeah, I remember that as well. Big shout, 619.
Yeah, I love it. Right, next match. I'm getting breathless just thinking about this one. Jet Marshall versus Kid Lycos 2. Now, I've got one thing to say about this match to sum it up. It's like if True Grit did the X Division. I mean, take it away, lads. You had better views than me on this. I just remember it being so quick and so violent and so brilliant. So you'll have to take the floor.
Paul, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Did you enjoy it?
It was just ooh, ooh, all the way through. The shots were so stiff, and you barely got chance to take in one stiff shot before the next one came. It was absolute pace. The guys are fantastic, and I think with these, they could. You have like parts that you remember from like two wrestlers. Like I always remember the spot with Will Ospreay and Ricochet. It's known worldwide, and they could take that to any promotion, whether it be Japan. They did it over here for like WCPW. These two could like nail spots like that, even though they're telling the story that they're fighting. You'll know what's next, because I think these two have like a real chemistry together. They absolutely flip around and stiff, and it's dancing. It's absolutely spot on what they do, and the crowd are loving it. I love it.
But the thing for me is, even when they do go a bit quick and a bit flippy, it never doesn't feel like a competition.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, there's some matches can veer into acrobat, gymnast, routine territory. With these two, it always feels like a fight because they punctuate it so well. It's that classic formula of speed and violence and then a second to settle.
Yeah.
Bit of punchy kicky.
The move.
Yeah, and then the back in the whirlwind.
Yeah. Acknowledge the pain for a second. It's like something when Jet did something to Lycos. I think he chopped him, and Lycos is just in the corner bouncing around like ow, 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 ow.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Right. Yeah, again, like you said, straight back into it kind of thing.
I've just skipped ahead in here, and then I've just seen Jet chop Lycos, and he's on his knees like, But these two, they take so much punishment and dole it out. It's such a war, this one.
Yeah. It was just, and again, though, both guys just doing what they do. And again, anybody who knows this channel, anybody who knows me, knows I'm a massive advocate for Jet Marshall. I want to see him everywhere. Kid Lycos 2 is nearly everywhere. Everybody knows how good he is. He is appreciated. He is acknowledged. Jet is at that level for me, and he should be. I know he's at North. I know he's turning up at North again soon. I know he was getting places, and he kind of got injured, but now he's back. I think he's starting to build that momentum again now, and people have been like, "Oh shit, yeah, we kind of forgot about Jet. We forgot how good he was. Shit, yeah, he is that good. We need to book him here, everywhere." The fact that he and Lycos look on par with each other, they look like equals in this fight, and obviously Jet won anyway, so that's credit to him.
Yeah, but absolutely. Much like Dre, you should never forget about Jet.
Exactly.
Well, forgive me if I'm wrong. This was before I was really at the True Grit shows, but I don't know whether it was a one night thing, but did Jet and Joe Wade team up as a misery business for? Was it a one night only? Did they have a tag match as the misery business?
I don't think they were called misery business. No.
Were they at one point? I'm sure that I've seen a True Grit match where Joe Wade and Jet tagged. Am I wrong? You might have to edit this out.
No, they may have actually tagged it. If you guys want to carry on, I'll do a quick bit of live Googling.
Yeah, Google it. Obviously, Jet used to tag with...
Yeah, I know, like, it's always been Joe and Alan Kay, but I'm sure that Thomas found something when he was watching YouTube, and I didn't know. I'm sure that
it might have been North.
Or was it a redemption show? Because I half remember that Priscilla was ring announcing. I'm sure that Jet and Joe have tagged, but I may be wrong.
I mean, at that one, I think Jet would have been tagging with Leon Slater.
Yeah, that was kind of what the point that was leading on to, because I know that I thought that it tagged with Joe, but then the first match that we saw was Leon Slater. It was the inaugural tag team champions, but it seemed to be that a lot of the commentators after it were talking about Jet needing to find a new tag team partner. And it's nice now that seems to have gone, and he's out there on his own, doing the singles work, and he doesn't need a tag team partner. Like, I know after the Leon Slater, there was a lot of commentators like, oh, since Leon's, gone on, he's looking for a tag team partner. He don't need one. That was sort of how I was trying to get to it. But yeah, whether I thought that Joe and maybe it was just an accidental booking, if Alan couldn't turn up for a night and he was like, I forgot what they call it. Like when Kurt Angle joined the Shield for a night, member.
Could be. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't. I'm not 100% sure. It surprised me if it did.
I can't find anything in the results on Cage Match, but they're far from comprehensive. But anyway, that's a question for another day. I think we'll figure that out.
Yeah, that part then. Sorry.
No, doing is fine. It's that's what we're here for. Somebody might put in the comments and be like, "Yes, Paul, you are correct. The other two guys are idiots. You are right." And then you'll be like, "Yes, validation." Wow. But yeah, this was obviously the first half main event, as people tend to call it nowadays. And this is one hell of a way, to end the first half of the show.
Oh yeah, end on a high, absolutely. Love to see either of those guys challenging for the main title.
Yes.
After the break, then.
Yep.
A match that none of us sort of knew how it'd go. Really, we had our predictions. Big T versus Ian Skinner.
Yeah.
Some shenanigans.
I got it totally.
What did we make of this one?
I got it totally wrong. I was like, Skinner will do it by cheating, blah, blah, blah. No, just no, straight out. Big T smash, bomb, done. See you.
I must admit, I thought it was going to be a repeat. I'm surprised it lasted that long. I thought it was going to be the Lou Nixon job all over again. I thought he was going to get floored in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, you and Thomas both got this one right, didn't you?
I thought it was just going to be an exact repeat. So it was like two people have knocked him out within 2 seconds. That's how I thought it was going down. But it lasted a little bit longer, and it had some great spots in it again. Poor Seb Mercer. The ring crew.
I was just about to say he was drafted in late on as well. Was Seb? He was one of the people who agreed to come in last minute. I had a chat with him after. Somebody I'm eager to see more of. Only seen little bits of his stuff in the ring. And Nick vouches for him, as you can see there from the double thumbs up. But yeah, he got the absolute soul chopped out of him. He was sore for the rest of the night. Just wanted to keep out of the way. I had to give him a cuddle at one point.
Can you imagine that conversation though? You just like from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, but like, yes, awesome. I get to help out at True Grit. I get to sort of see, be there. Right, what do you want me to do? I want you to take a chop from Big T. Ah, bollocks.
Oh, I'm busy. I just remembered.
Oh, see you later, bye. Yeah, I'm off.
Yeah.
But no, again, yeah, I vouch for Seb every day of the week, and then on the 8th day as well, kind of thing. The dude's amazing. Hyped to see him there. But this match, Big T is just, like I say, it's just everything about him just screams showman. It just screams wrestling. The dude's like obviously announced as being 7 foot tall. His music. I remember, like you sort of said, Thomas and Robbie were just like when the Wheels on the Bus first came on, hearing people singing along to it. Then it kicks into full-on intro. It's just like, oh mate, this is amazing. And obviously, yeah, they had their Big T bus passes on as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Robbie doesn't really talk that much. Like he shouts, but he's not really that vocal. But I saw Becky looking over towards us at the merch table. She was pointing at Robbie, so I had to lean over and have a look. And he was singing along, the Wheels on the Bus. So it must be one that they do in nursery. So yeah, he definitely enjoyed that.
Oh, that's great. I tell you what I enjoyed. Ian Skinner stood on the chair and Big T just stomping the mat and shaking it round. Yeah. Ian just so funny. Actually, just a side note for Ian Skinner, he's actually part of a set of little trading cards you can buy. I can't remember the name of the company that does it, but there's a few wrestlers out there. There's a set of 10. Each one's numbered. And it was a great thing. I bought it because I was, despite saying that he'd win on my prediction, I was actually pretty convinced he was going to die in this match. And I think he nearly did.
Yeah, not to be smirched, we obviously sort of say, he got leveled out, quite quickly. The thing is, though, with Ian Skinner, he can have this kind of result. He did it against Lou Nixon, and then he came back and had a great match, with Ellis Barker. Skinner is so versatile. He can take a hit and be beaten in 60 seconds, but it doesn't besmirch him. It doesn't belittle him. It doesn't, make you think any less of him because everybody knows what he can do. So he can come back the next show, have a 10, 15-minute 5-star match, and you wouldn't be like, is this the same guy? It's the same guy.
Plus, there's no shame in losing to someone like Big T, ever. Like one of the lasting images of that match will be when Ian was trying to hold the door closed and T just booted it in.
Yeah.
And just walks in and then
the account out.
Yeah, and that's what I thought they were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then just when T just swatted him out of the air and just foot on the chest, 1, 2, 3, the bus keeps on rolling. And it does mean we did a bit of fantasy booking, Nick, on the preview show. It does mean we might get a bit of Big T versus Kemper if Kemper beats Brady. Yeah. Or maybe even if he doesn't.
Ooh, I want that weigh-in. I want that pre-match, footage on the True Grit Club or something. I want these guys on scales. I want them there, like being like, face-to-face. Kemper having to look up for a change and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's like the Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez moment kind of thing where, like, normally the guy that looks down on everyone is having to look up, and it's just like, shit.
So I've just seen the end of the finish of the match there. Ian left the ring and went and sat next to Jay at merch, and you could just see his chest is already from that one swat just bright red. You can see the finger marks and everything.
But next, True Grit got unleashed. It showed its black heart. It became a temple. Whatever you want to say about it. It was the Fatal 4-Way.
Well, there was the little matter of Bobby and James before that. James Carr coming out looking Trumpian, I think is the way to put it. He tried to claim they were True Grit colours. I would say we'll take him at his word, but Jason. I'll be honest. I went to the toilet when this was happening. I assume it was alluding to Bobby and the general and the position on the board.
Yes, it was basically sort of saying that, it was a great day. He's caught him on a good day because this is the first True Grit show since Wes was exiled. So he's got to listen to the people. He will make Bobby Cash a general manager, but not the only one. He will be co-general manager, and the other general manager will be revealed, at a later time.
Yeah, and it was
waiting long, but obviously that'll be coming up later. I thought we were going to be waiting a bit longer, so it was nice that it all came together in the one night.
And just proof that you need to get to the York shows, because you never know what's going to happen, but we'll get to that in a bit. So Nick said before, I think I dubbed it this on our preview show, the Blackheart Four-Way.
Yeah.
Sammy Blue, the debuting Gung Ho Muttley, Billy O'Keefe, and Sean Only. Four who know each other very well. I would try and go, pick out some spots from a four-way, but that's almost impossible. So, Paul, I'll throw it to you. How well do you know all of these guys, and what did you reckon to it?
I don't know. Gung Ho Muttley was first time I've ever seen him. Obviously, I've seen Billy. I've seen a couple from Sammy Blue and Sean Only. I saw him, from day one. He was doing his Sean Only challenge, and it was with El Bill. So that was first event that I seen. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was brilliant. I do love a fatal four-way. It has to be the right people that are in it. Sometimes fatal four-ways are seen as we've got no idea of what we're going to do with these guys, so let's just throw them together. But with them all being from Blackheart, I've never seen Blackheart, but they had a great chemistry and they all had different styles. And that is when I do like a fatal four-way, because you can have a show with many different types of matches, but this fatal four-way, it seemed to have different styles all in one match. So, you'd see some heavy hitting from Sean Only, some real rough, violent action, and then you'll see a bit of high flying here and there, a little bit of technical with someone else, and they all had that bit of time to do something with someone else. And Billy O'Keefe, he's really versatile. He's looking great. He's had a great run. He had a great match with Mega Calibra at the last event, and it was just nice seeing what these guys can do. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So I've not seen them before, but yeah, I really, really loved it. Thomas loved it too, and Robbie.
Good stuff. I'll just quickly go with mine, because Nick's the resident Blackheart fan, and I want to give him at least 10 minutes to talk about this. But you're saying about the different styles. Sammy's obviously the more slender of them all, and the quicker and speeding around. Sean with the rough, sort of almost MMA style, a lot of punching and kicking, but constant violence, not in a plodding Hogan way or anything like that. Sean's just brings the violence, and then Billy and Muttley were both the hybrid, sort of the more hybrid ones, Gung Ho with a bit more power. But with Billy, it feels like we've almost watched him grow up in True Grit, starting as El Bilzo to where he is now. I don't know if it's just me, but the lad seems to have packed on a bit of size. Not to be too Nathan Black. Sorry, I could see the flashbacks in Paul then. But he's packing on a bit of size. He's really, really connecting with the fans, and it's great to see. And I thought Sammy did in his first match as well. It's very easy to enjoy Sammy Blue's work, but Gung Ho as well. At times he was a bit of a bad guy, as we thought it might be Nick, but he also chucked in a really good bit of comedy when, I think, was it he chopped or tried to punch Sean Only, and Sean just, nah, mate, not having that. Yeah.
Did he have hold of Sammy, and Sean was doing a chop, and Sammy ducked, and Gung Ho took the chop, did he? And then he
chopped him back. That was it. Yeah.
Just stuck like, no chance.
No.
Oh!
That hurt. I think that hurt, Dad.
Let's see how you like it!
Yeah, that was beautiful. But yeah, Nick, go on. These are your lads.
My lads, they're the only boys in fairness. But yeah, I went into this kind of with expectations, and my expectations were more than exceeded. All four guys. Obviously, Sean only. I not got in trouble, but I got a little bit of a smart ass comment because I shouted out Sammy, Billy, and Gung Ho, on Facebook saying all three guys delivered. Sean was like, "Oh, so it was a triple threat then." I was like, "No, dude, sorry, look, mate. No, obviously you delivered. We knew you would deliver, kind of thing. Know what you can do." I just want to shout out those three guys because it was a big moment for them. A big stage. True Grit in York. The production, the lights, everything going on, the big screen, and yeah. But Sammy is amazing. Sammy he's working heel at the minute at Blackheart, which is weird to see, but he does that very well. But when he's working face, he's just got that genuine underdog vibe. You can't help but root for him. It's just cool. You say Billy is Billy. Billy has come on. Like I said, we've kind of seen him grow at True Grit, and the dude is packing on the muscle. He is looking like a professional wrestler, and that's the biggest compliment I can give anybody who is a professional wrestler, to say you look like a professional wrestler. You've got the build. The thing is, he's kind of going like the Osprey route, where he's building up the muscle, but he's not losing the speed. He's managed to he's building up the muscle, but maintaining his speed at the same time, which makes him dangerous. Because the dude, it's pure hybrid. He can do strong style. He can do quick. Yeah, I've said it before. I'll say it again. If he's not challenging for the title within the next couple of years, I will eat my hat. For me, Billy is that good. Him versus Riley Nova, 2 years' time, True Grit title. It's not a spoiler. It's a promise.
You said they delivered. Sean delivered him through a table as well at the merch, which is it's a surefire indicator that they're not done.
No, yeah, and they're both on the poster for the next show, which we will get to. And
I'll just quickly throw one out there. I would love to see Sean Only versus Vucic.
Ooh, yes, but
anyway, sorry, you were saying about Muttley.
Yes, again, he was the unknown entity. People in York had seen Sammy previously against Horace. As Paul said, nobody at True Grit has seen Gung Ho Muttley. He was coming into this, and they said, yeah, he came out as a heel. He was the arrogant sportsman. I'm better than you. I'm great at every sport that I do. Flexing the posers with this lacrosse stick, singing one of the best entrance themes in British wrestling. And then, yeah, like I said, just a moment when Billy hit him with I'm sure it's got basically the front DDT. And Gung Ho just became a tree. Like I said, it was like that format team where he was a tree. And it's just like, yeah, I think Gung Ho comments something. He's like, "Cheers, Nick. It's been a pleasure knowing you. Thanks." And then, like, yeah. And then when he's doing the push-ups as well, I love that spot when he's doing the push-ups. He's showing off. Next thing, curb stomp.
Yeah,
such a good moment in the match as well.
Yeah. And really good stuff, and it's one that I think could be looked back on at the end of the year, and it won't be forgotten. But everybody will just go, "Oh yeah, that was an absolute banger," and it'll be sleeper for like top 10 match of the year or something like that. But that list's so hard to put together because we've just covered 6 matches, and in their own way, they're all brilliant. Exactly. I know I saw you hold up the 7 there, Nick. So that means we've got to talk about the main event.
Yes.
Brady Phillips versus Rio, champion versus champion, exhibition match. Holy shit. And we've got another guest on the show. Just seeing him pop up there, the Doberman.
There he is. Austin.
Austin
I've tried
the Doberman.
him for 50 minutes or whatever it is now, and I've just given up now. So, yeah. I'll just let him join him.
God say, obviously, Rio, I know you're a massive, massive fan. I know the kids are a massive fan. Obviously, I presume, Thomas had Rio predicted for this one. Mate, how good was this match?
Oh, it's absolutely everything that I expected it to be. Two of the best in the UK, if not Europe at the moment. Certainly Rio, but definitely Brady as well. You know, he's the guy that took the title off Wes. He broke the kids' hearts. But fun fact, we've never seen him lose. We've not seen Brady lose yet, like while we've been watching True Grit. And he's getting better and better and better. He's one of the top guys for sure. But yeah, I think Thomas went with his heart and not his head on this one because he predicted a real win. But it's absolutely amazing. Really, really was good match.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. I think we said, Nick, didn't we, that there was only one outcome, and it was going to be violence. It was going to be pain. I love it. In fact, we didn't mention it before. Rio coming out to make a save at the post-match beatdown of Vucic. Set it nicely, and Brady running away, and then Rio comes out wearing a floor-length fur coat to mock Brady. Absolutely love that. It was a better coat as well. Let's be right.
And she also came out the title, didn't she? That was an option that me and it was Nick who said it to me. He said, "What's the title?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." She forgot it. Did he take him on with him? We don't know.
We find out that it had been nicked.
Yes.
But first, the match, just starting off, Brady, as cocky and arrogant as you'd expect him to be, quickly getting his ass handed to him in just every way, shape, and form. Riley on the outside being a nuisance, and just Rio stepping up, just full of that fire and brutality, and just I don't give a shit who you are. You're eating a forearm. You're getting battered. You're getting slung around in body slams and suplexes off the top and all this. It was just a fantastic match. Just like the epitome of hero versus villain.
Yes, that superplex as well. That was huge. And then again, like you said, you had Riley on the outside. We got the Brady's bitch boy chant going when he was getting involved. He made the mistake of getting in the ring. Rio slapped him down.
Silly boy.
Very silly boy. Don't get in Rio's way. It was just it was a very clever match. It was an amazing match. And each person had the moment to shine. Rio looked fierce. She looked on par with, if not slightly, more aggressive than Brady. Hence why Riley had to get involved. Everybody just looked amazing in this match. And then Rio, Thomas was right. Rio was going to get the 3 count until the referee got pulled out the ring.
Yeah, by someone wearing Ian Skinner's sunglasses.
Yeah.
I thought it was Ian, but he was sat at the merch. He looked at me like I was an idiot when I asked if he was the one pulling the referee out.
Probably so concussed.
Yeah. But I don't think any of us saw this coming. We called shenanigans. In fact, I was adamant it was going to be a no contest because I just didn't see how they were going to do it. But in the end, with the way events unfolded, Rio looked so strong. Brady sneaks the win thanks to the now second general manager, the returning Ivy. Oh, God. I thought we were done with her.
Clubs at the ready.
It was the obvious choice, though. Like you never got it at the time. It was one of them where you kind of beat yourself up because you think, why the hell did that not cross my mind? Yeah. Regime, Brady, and then you're thinking somebody would have to even the score out with Bobby Cash. It is nobody better. It could have been. I know that Sash was thrown around, but I don't think there's a better person that could do this role. I'm happy to see her back in a weird sort of way, but yeah, it was one of them where like JC came out. And I said, Nick said, "Oh shit, it's gonna be her," the manager. And I beat myself up. I thought, why did I not even guess that when he said there's gonna be a second one? But it was. I'm happy to see her back.
Well, I saw Ivy pre-show, arriving to the building with Brady, I thought, oh, that's nice. Ivy's come along for a ride. Heard the announcement about the second general manager. Still didn't twig.
Yeah, like I did. I've seen her watching the shows, these past few shows that we've been at. Like, I remember going out in the Rumble and I saw her on the side. You know, she's always been around. And I did actually look around the room and think, oh, Ivy's not here tonight. And, you know, I feel stupid for not getting it. Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah, what a way to end the show. Brady and Rio battered each other. It was great to watch. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. And we've got a new co-GM. Bobby has asked what changes he could make as GM, or at least, you know, what changes he could put forward to his co-GM now. I was going to say that it'd be tempting to ask him to make it so that Ivy can only give, give decrees or whatnot in 50 words or less.
yeah, limited.
But I think she might veto that one.
No. But yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Like, say, if Ivy doesn't, obviously retired from in-ring action, that was sad. Obviously she lost a match to ZZ. It'll be interesting to see ZZ's reaction when she comes back and when she gets, back in the ring, when she turns up with True Grit, to see Ivy, back in the building. But Ivy's in-ring work wasn't just what she brought to the table on any show. It was her mic work. It was her interaction with the fans, the audience, that just getting that heat. And obviously she can still do that without having to, wrestle. So yeah, this makes, like I say, I'm kind of kicking myself that, we didn't see it coming. It makes all the sense in the world. And I just, because obviously those two guys used to give each other shit before the match even started. She used to get in Bobby's face while he was doing the intros and stuff, didn't he? So those two got chemistry. I think those two will work very well together.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good bit of intrigue in it. So all around, another fantastic show in York. I just can't wait to see where it all goes.
Yep. Yeah. It takes us. We'll all sum it up very quickly in the sense of it was an amazing show. There's no downside to it. Some times you do like a pros and a cons list for, when we're watching a pay-per-view or something. This is all pros, no cons. It was just,
I'd say
great. So, but as you said, it leads us, which is what the York shows do so well as well. It leads us into the next show at Left Bank. It ends on that kind of cliffhanger. It ends on that bit of information where you're just like, shit, I need to know what's going to happen next. And then they've announced, they've put the poster onto socials earlier. So I'm getting too excited. I'm tripping over my own. Like, if you haven't seen the poster, go look at the poster. The poster, you just got big faces, Brady and Kemper. It's the True Grit lockdown. Behind the cage. Then you got everybody.
Elliot does great work, doesn't he? Who does the graphics? Actually, just a side note to Elliot. Big shout out to him. One for being just consistently brilliant at what he does. But he made an edit for the WrestleMania main event, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and got Cody's attention and praise for it, which is phenomenal. So well done, mate. Fantastic work. But right then, Left Bank Lockup, little preview before we do a full preview when we have the card announced. We know Kemper versus Brady in the cage for the title. Yep. We know Rio versus Alexis Falcon for the title. The rest of the poster, Nash Boat are on there, Misery Business, Crash Boat, Drake, Sean Only, Billy O'Keefe, Joey Slade. Priscilla's on there, Harley Harris, Adam Bolt, Tony Wright. Me and Nick had a very brief mention about some of the stuff that's going on, but Paul, we'll go for you first, mate. What matches do you think are going to happen? What would you like to see? What do you reckon?
I've had a very, very quick look at the poster. Like Nick did send it over to me. I was literally running home from work. So I think a few of them I can guess where I think it's looking like we're going to get Sean Only, Billy O'Keefe. What style of match? I'm not too sure because they've had the hair versus mask match and like obviously it's escalated. So I'm gonna have to go with something quite dramatic for it. I think the situation's gone that far now. I'm guessing that it's going to be Adam Bolt and Tony Wright for the Pride Championship.
I'd have thought so. That will be a banger.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm loving seeing that. That still remains my favourite show. You know, the True Grit Games. It was fantastic show, and Adam's a great champion. And I always enjoy the matches, the Pride matches. And I was looking at. I'm not sure with the tag team. I'm thinking that it's going to be Nashbo against Misery Business. That's the way that I'm looking. Yeah, I'm wondering whether it's what's going to happen with Joe Wade and Alan Kay.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a different take on it. First up, because Nick, what was your prediction for the Nashbo one?
Yeah, my initial reaction was I thought triple threats with Joe Wade walking out and leaving Alan Kay by himself to face Crashboat and Nashbo. And I thought maybe Joey Slade versus Harley Harris. But, yeah, you kind of set me down a different path now, and I've had time to think about it.
So, what I reckon is going to happen is, sorry, just quickly, you mentioned the Pride Division before. We're going to have Drake, it looks like Drake and Priscilla are going to at least be in the same place at the same time. Whether we get the match or not, we don't know, but that's going to come to some sort of head. So, with the tag matches, Joe Wade didn't turn up for Alan last time.
Yes.
To me, I think Joe's going to do it again.
Right.
And I think he's going to leave Alan alone against Joey Slade and Harley Harris. Because they're both in Hellbound.
Yeah.
Outside of True Grit. Which then you don't have to raise your hand, Nicky, it's your show.
Joey Slade and Harley Harris versus Crashboat make more sense. And have Joe Wade walk out on. Have Alan Kay versus Nashbo, and then Nashbo get another win.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
potentially, but it also has the potential. Then, if you have Misery Business versus Slade and Harris, that either means you cement Harris as another heel in the women's division, which is a bonus, or now this is where I go deep into the weeds.
Yeah.
Joe Wade doesn't turn up. Joey turns on Harley. And we end up getting Joey versus Alan.
Yeah.
Because Joey doesn't need anybody anymore. He's a big boy now.
he's a big boy.
I just did it through process of elimination because Crashboat was in the same match as Joey Slade in the Survivor Series match, so that's why. Of
course, yeah. Do you know what? That's probably a better idea.
Joey and Harley, and it's going to leave us wondering: is Harley going to align with him? Is she going to turn on him? And that's why I paired them two together. And then I was with Nick on the other one of Nashbo versus
Alan Kay by himself.
And that's where I think the win will happen for Nashbo, maybe.
Oh, you have Nashboat versus Crashboat. It's absolute mental shenanigans, and the loser has to lose the boat.
That's the thing. I don't think we're ready for that yet. You know, we're not.
Some build.
JC's going to save that for something big. That's something that's going to be months and months of building. That I don't think.
I still maintain we need to start calling. We need Sash to team up with somebody we call Sash Boat, and we need Bobby Cash to nominate two representatives and have Cash Boat. And then it's winner takes all the boats.
Yeah.
So you'd have to call them Nash Boat.
We're going to a bigger boat. I mean, that's obviously, first look at the poster. That's, speculating. I mean, and in fairness, sometimes, if some of those matches do get announced, it's because they make sense. It's because as fans, we've followed this story. We obviously, that these are the matches we want to see. So as you sort of said, the Billy O'Keefe versus Sean only, there's got to be, I don't know whether it's a table match, because obviously what Sean did to Billy, in York. Whether it's more extreme than that, whether it's just, I don't know, the loser leaves True Grit, or Last Man Standing, or a street fight, or
what, Paul?
Ambulance match.
Now, I will say, right, one of the best matches I've seen Sean Only have was with JC's Russian cousin, Boris Kozlov. In Rise, they built to a Russian chain match. And it was incredible. So if it came to it, I would love to see Sean Only, Billy O'Keefe in a chain match. But obviously, table match makes more sense. But I just wanted to say as well, with the storylines and the building of this, just the fact on this poster that we have got so many issues with all these tag teams is fantastic. 'Cause it leaves us just not knowing, and I love that. I want to see the announcements, and like we said about, I was just like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah. For all our fantasy booking, why haven't we thought of that?
Well, this is what you were saying before with with these three different people here who've all got different interpretations of how to read that poster. Like, there was a time, and it weren't particularly long ago, where you could literally say, they're going to face them, they're going to face them, and they're going to face them. And I like it now how the poster still doesn't give you any clues. Everyone's on there, but you'll piece a different card to me, you'll piece a different card to Nick, or you read it in your own way, and it still leaves you guessing. We've all watched the same product, we've all seen the same stories develop, but we can't make up the next card, and that's what's so exciting about True Grit at the moment. You're always like fantasy booking.
Yeah,
that's it.
Couldn't say any better.
Yeah, well said, dude. Because that's the thing. There's that much going on now, and that, again, credit to True Grit. They're ending shows where they don't even have to announce matches for the next show. People want to buy tickets because they want to see what happens next. They've got numerous stories going on now, and we want to see these stories progress. We're emotionally attached, and that for me is wrestling. The matches are great. I want to be emotionally attached. I want to be emotionally invested, and you're telling stories. And True Grit are just absolutely smashing it out of the park at the minute with that.
Yeah. When this all started and it came back, I was like, well, I'm going to be going to the shows anyway, because I've been going to True Grit for years, and I'm just happy to have it back for True Grit. And we best say his name just in case he accuses of not giving him any credit. JC, what he's put together is ridiculous. It's on the upper echelon, the top level of storytelling in British wrestling and European wrestling. There's not a lot of independent promotions out there that do it like this, and it's great to see. We're biased. We're all True Grit fans first and foremost. We're never going to come on here and do it. We're not going to slag it off for slagging it off's sake or anything like that. But even putting all my biases aside, just factually, there's not many promotions out there doing it like True Grit, and with the regularity as well. 12 shows a year into the at least the third year now of doing that. To still have that momentum is unreal.
This is why we're still there as well, because the story with us, I've said it before, was we were following Wes around. We were the Enzerico section. Wes isn't there anymore. We still are. There's a reason for that. Certain shows when he's not been there, we still come along, and it's one of the best shows, if not the best show, I think, in the UK. I just don't understand why there isn't more on the Patreon, the Discord. I don't know what more the guy can do. I really don't.
Yeah, John is on the Discord. John is on the Patreon. You don't have to play my prediction game. It is just for fun.
It used to be your spoilers, didn't it, really? It's been a while since you've been a clean sweep on there. And again, that's going off what we said before with the poster. You don't know what matches are going to be made. You don't know what the card's going to be. You also don't know who's going to win them anymore, like you used to. But everyone did. But I think that the best score's 5 out of 7. Like this time round,
this time I haven't tallied it up yet.
Oh, haven't you?
No, not yet.
I've done a bit of working out. I think
I got 5 out of 7. I think I got 5.
I got 4.
Ooh, I think Thomas got 5. I got 4.
Yeah, you got 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Thomas.
Yeah, the ones I've tallied up, Thomas is winning so far, but I've still got to put on Tony's predictions.
Yeah, shout out to Tony just because it.
Yeah, it was a shame.
Sure, someone got 2. I think it was Tony. It might have been Chris. I don't know. I think it was Tony though. I'm not sure.
I was about to say, if Tony got 7 out of 7, I will eat my hat again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not doing that live on air. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'll save the piss taking for when I see him next. See him in person.
Oh, absolutely. Well, hopefully it'll be in Leeds.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Next show, Friday the 9th, left bank lockup. Unfortunately, not followed by a left bank lock-in. But Andrew, that is on a Friday night, so it may be. I don't know. That might be a driving job for me. That we'll have to see.
That's me picking up the kids from school and getting them changed in the car job. I've already got.
It's all for the love of the game.
There was no way that I was missing that. Absolutely not. No way.
We can't miss a steel cage match.
Shout out, massive shout out to Fight Factory as well, who will be providing the cage. And when you think about the 2 boys in there, you know it's going to have to be a big cage. It's going to have to be a sturdy cage. It's going to have to be one of the best cages in the country. So yes, Fight Factory will be delivering a cage worthy of Brady Phillips versus Kemper. So shout out to them as well.
Yeah, they did the ring crew. They were providing the ring with the ring crew for the last show as well. Did an absolutely bang up job.
Yeah.
From what little I saw and what little I know of putting up a ring, which is absolutely f all.
But gentlemen, thank you so much. This has just been. I love these chats. Like I said, I do aim to. I do want to do these before and after every show going forward. So if you are free beforehand and after any future show, please join me and we'll just wax lyrical and appreciate the good stuff. So, but Dan, let people know where they can find you again on socials if you want to.
Yep, thank you for having me back for a 3rd time. I've made my hat trick. I might even come back for another 1 or 2. Let's see. But same as last time, at DanGriffin21 on Twitter or Instagram. Instagram has the reels and wrestling photos and stuff like that, if that's what you're after. I am on other podcasts, Unbooking the Territory at UTT Podcast. Go see that over there. That's mostly Attitude Era focused, or First and Last of Wrestling. There's all sorts of side projects. There's too many to go into now. It's getting late. It's a school night. Other podcasts, SJP World Media, the Doctor Who pod, which is about Doctor Who, funnily enough, and myself and Matt Lewis on The Volley, which is essentially alternative commentary for football games. Whenever there's 22 blokes kicking a bag of wind around, me and Matt will be, attempting commentary, but usually getting distracted, talking about food.
Nice.
Well, if you've seen me.
Where can they find you, Paul? And the artwork?
I've got so many socials, I can't even name them all, but I know that on TikTok I have the Paul Tash Stewart, Paul's Wrestling Art, where I do a few paintings here and there, the Enzerico section on TikTok, where you can see the wrestling journey for the kids and all their videos of their antics at home, how they like to beat the crap out of each other at home. And yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Just don't try this at home. I just want to throw that out there so we're not setting a bad example. Unless you've got a bed made like a ring. If you've got a bed made like a ring, it's perfectly fine. Go nuts.
Well, we could have done with a medic in the car on the way home. The boys had a sticker from the pizza guys. Shout out to them, amazing pizzas. But yeah, they both got a sticker, and Robbie had ripped his off, screw it up into a ball and threw it, and then decided that he wanted a sticker again. And the only way he could get a sticker was trying to get Thomas's. And when Thomas denied it, all he heard was a slap and a turn around, and Thomas's nose is gushing with blood. All over his Rio shirt. He's literally smashed Thomas's face in with his fist over a sticker. Pizza guys.
Dude, just get extra, tell your pizza, get extra stickers, and jobs are good. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, extra stickers next time. Yeah. Buy
Do
more
you
pizza.
want extra cheese? No, mate, I want extra stickers, please. Thank you. But yeah, obviously give these two guys, a follow on the socials that they've just shouted out. Amazing human beings. Just obviously, where we are. I generally don't shout us out, but I probably should do. WTLS 420 on Twitter, WTLS 316 on Instagram. Go say hi to my boy Ash, and yeah, obviously, find us on YouTube, and then just like, share, comment, do all the generic stuff we ask you to do at the end of every episode. But that's about it, really. We have been here showing our love for True Grit, which we will always do, as long as they keep doing what they are doing at the moment, which is being awesome. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, gentlemen. Do you want to say goodbye?
Catch you next time.
Quick shout out as well, the Hot Tag Foundation. The work that they're doing with the D-Generation eggs. Sorry, I just thought about that as well, and I don't know the guys particularly well. I very briefly know the work that they do. Hopefully you guys can help me out on it. Obviously, they had a belt, and Thomas enjoyed holding that and having the pictures with it. Seemed really good guys. I don't know what they do. Hopefully you guys can elaborate on it. I just wanted to give them a shout out. My son loved having the belt on his shoulder.
I feel bad now. Yeah, obviously, massive shout out. There will the Hot Tag guys at this show and at various shows prior to this. There's some still coming up as well. If you're going to Wrestle Island, they will be there. It'll be just after Easter. So if you get too many Easter eggs, keep a few, take them to Wrestle Island with you. You can donate it, get a picture taken with Lance Rivera. And then what Hot Tag will do is they will distribute the Easter eggs around sort of local charities or local hospitals and things like that, to kids who don't get an Easter egg, who aren't able to, or, aren't in a position where somebody will buy them an Easter egg. So they will be, they will have that moment. And that's what Hot Tag are doing at the minute. And then later on in the year, they'll be doing another Toil Rumble, which they did last year very successfully. Again, they just ask for donations and then they distribute them around different areas within different communities, just to help kids, get something that they wouldn't normally get otherwise.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they do great work.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for watching. And remember, always work the left side. Goodbye.